Hello, everyone. Welcome to Movie Jar Podcast, a podcast where we discuss films, talk shit on everyone's opinions, and assign our favorite characters a cookie. My name is Kaya. I am a film student.
My name is Alex. I study animation, I guess.
My name is Cameron. I'm a childcare worker.
My name is Chris, not from the head.
What?
What?
Did you just make a Voltron reference in
Yes, I did.
Get
Oh, okay,
out!
fine.
Get out!
Not too
well.
bad, but this is the one we're rolling with. So,
Yep.
Voltron
Yeah, it is.
That's what
reference.
we're
It
going
is.
with.
You keep it in there. I'll be
Alrighty,
watching.
Alex, this movie was on your list, so do you want to introduce it?
okay, so as this podcast is going to go forward, we spin a wheel and then we pick our next film. This film we started with is Jordan Peele's Nope from when did this movie come out?
2022.
2022? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty, so
Oh my god, that was 2 years ago. This film is a bit of a thriller film, I'd say. It's a bit horror, but I'd say it's a bit more of a thriller. It's about like a ranch in California, so you know hell, and then dealing with an alien that is nestled amongst the clouds above. I can't really give too much of an explanation and a description for this movie because it's a bit weird, but it's also a bit fire, so you know. That being said,
What's all you to do is go watch it.
yeah, go watch the film. Watch the film, then come back here. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine, I guess. I mean, why?
I like to insult the viewer, but I have to hold that back.
Yeah, nah, Chris, don't insult the viewer till 10 minutes in, okay, bud?
so
Aw, bastard.
what I think, do we want to start with things we like and then move into
I
things
mean-
we maybe didn't like, or
I mean, yeah, sure. Like, well, actually, I want to start with before we start talking about like what we liked and what we didn't like. What was going around the circle? What was our general opinion on the film? I mean, if you want, I can start, but like, because I picked
how
it.
about you start?
Yeah,
I mean,
okay,
if
fine.
it makes you say that if it makes you do the title drop when like some dudes are around, it's a pretty good movie. Just saying. And it does.
Oh
do that.
yeah, that did happen. Yeah, I gotta admit, I really liked the film. Um, I thought it was a bit slow to start, but oh my god, there's so much to go into that I liked. Um, particularly, I really liked the alien design. Overall, I'd say that I don't know why it's got a 6.8 on IMDb, and I really don't know why Logan Paul didn't like this film, because
Wait,
Fuck.
Logan Paul reviews movies now?
I
No, he
can
went-
see the
that's
answer,
a- that's
but no one wants to
that's
hear
a-
the truth.
that's a tale for later in the podcast. Uh, I haven't seen many of Jordan Peele's films. In fact, actually, I think this is my first Jordan Peele film I've watched.
I think
Well,
me
Also my
too.
first.
Yeah, I really get the hype around him. He's quite cool. What about you, Kaya? What did you think?
I quite liked it. I am generally not a big fan of like suspense and thriller movies. So usually I'm not a big fan of those sorts of movies, but I actually really liked it. It kept me I've been paranoid for like since I watched it now that there's gonna be weird little children with alien heads poking their heads out from a door at my house.
That's a spoiler.
But
I mean, okay, to be fair, we already
To
told
be
them to
fair.
watch the movie. If they didn't watch the movie, then that's on
Yeah,
them.
that's on them.
That's
That's on
on
them at this
them,
point.
okay?
Okay,
You stupid
but-
fucking viewer.
yeah, I generally liked it. It's I definitely had like some things I didn't like, but I enjoyed it. I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, Cameron, what did you think?
As we said earlier, this was also my first Jordan Peele film, and I was genuinely blown away. I had no expectations for this because never watched anything from him, and this has immediately shot up to a 9, maybe a 10 for me.
Wow, fuck, okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, okay, fuck, we'll get into that later.
And Chris?
And Chris, what did you think of the film?
225 reps on bench press out of 225 reps on deadlift.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
That's pretty high praise.
that is pretty good. I mean, that's like a lot of weight, I think.
Do not take that seriously.
Hang on, can we get a translation for the audience? Then?
Yeah, what does that mean? And you've explained it to the Jimbro audience, but
So translation, I would pay it about $5 to see it. A solid 5. Solid.
Five?
solid. Really?
100%.
Interesting.
Good.
Not $6.
Okay, yeah, but it's not okay. It's not solid then. A solid 5 is solid. You know, you get what I'm saying?
I get you.
I
I
can
get
see
you.
it.
Immediately, half the audience is left with that.
No.
No,
You've got an interesting rating system. I fuck with it.
Well,
All right.
he is a
Legitimate
Jimbro.
opinion though, it was a good film. I'd probably give it like 8.5, something like that out of 10. Being fully real, I think that the effects, the cinematography are all very original, and you can't really. I haven't found a comparison yet, though. I've not seen that many horror movies. It's not my favorite. Um, I I think that a lot of shock horror is, well, not in the vogue, but it's in the consciousness of Hollywood right now.
It's
And
trending.
this breaks that quite
Hmm.
well. I
It
think
does.
it's very good because it's an original idea with a lot of. I feel as though they just threw some shit in, like the People Eater music line, because it was just fitting, and they had an actor that could, you know, do that. So they probably said like, "Hey, uh, this is good. Let's do that because it's creepy and weird, and I like it because it fits." If you don't know that scene, watch the movie. It's really far in. It's by the camera guy.
Oh, the cinema. I loved him. I have
Oh,
so many.
I now I remembered what you told. I was like, what the fuck are you on about?
Yeah, but getting into specifics here, really creepy song called People Eater.
Mm.
Look up Nope, Purple People Eater. It's actually based on a 50s song that
Really?
is really upbeat. This one creeps you the fuck out.
We
I
like
can't
creepy versions.
comparison.
Well, I think it works because of just the nature of the alien in this movie. Because I'll start on like the proper details that I liked. I really liked how it wasn't because I went into this movie thinking it was gonna be like a bunch of aliens in a little Roswell spaceship, right? Because it looks like the Roswell spaceship, but then to find out as the movie goes on that it's just a wild animal and it has no other purpose besides the fact that it wants to eat was just so juicy. And when it ate the TMZ guy, I was like, "Fuck yes, take that
Okay, to be
TMZ."
honest, we all knew it was coming because of TMZ. Also, hold on. Were we meant to get Karina in here?
No.
No,
No.
They're in a VC chat.
no, that
No,
sucks for them.
they don't know. No, they're not. They
I
don't
No.
know they're
swore
not.
they were in on
No.
it.
No.
Nah.
No.
All right.
Nope.
Nope. Title drop.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
right. It makes
Oh
you
my
do
God.
that. And it's really
Oh fuck! I watched it with Chris, and there were so many times where we just paused and were like,
Nope.
You know,
and we
I
watched it entirely legally.
did you now?
Yes, entirely legally.
Definitely
Entirely
legally.
legally.
Yes.
Entirely
Oh.
legally.
I love
Legally.
Amazon Prime. But you were saying, Kyle?
I love Paramount Plus. I
So
love streaming services. I love streaming services. Please give me more.
so I
Give me
I really
more
liked the
game.
cinematography of it all as well. It was really good. There was quite a few instances where I was like, "Oh, that's a cool shot."
Hmm.
It uses a lot of the hanging shots. I noticed.
Yeah.
It was that was to create a sense of like fucking unease because if you hang for way too long, it's just like, why are we still here? Something gonna happen?
Yeah, I
Try to tell me something.
also kind of I liked the
Like
amount
it.
of fake outs that they did with like they make you think that there's going to be a jump scare and then there isn't one, and then when you least expect it, like the jump scare with the bug on the camera, I like if I had like a box of popcorn in front of me, when I jumped, it would have like flown out of like the box, you know?
Yeah.
But
I
that
was
one made me
mean,
jump so hard because I was not expecting it at all. Just went, oh fuck.
it did the cop outs well. I have to say I don't like cop outs in too many movies, but they did it well enough for like a little bit of it's like a sort of tension release.
Mm.
Can't really find a comparison, but throughout the entire movie there's tension. And during those cop outs, it's sort of like a release from it rather than like an oh fuck off. You
So
What did you think? What did you
Harry,
think,
get the
Cameron, about
film.
those elements? Since you're the local, I want to give it a 10 person.
Look, the fact that there was just so much suspense being built up and then never paying off because it wasn't cashed in yet. It doesn't do what a lot of horror films do nowadays, where they wait until one big jump scare at the end, and like so they either give you lots of jump scares with current horror films, or they give you like basically none. And there was a movie a while ago that, God, it was like people on TikTok were going mad over it.
People on TikTok. People
Yeah, so I immediately don't trust their opinion. And it was follow us on TikTok, by the way. Do we even have a TikTok for this?
I've
think
made
so.
it. I've made an
Probably.
account. I have made an account.
I think that makes it even funnier.
I guess
Follow us and we'll insult you.
No, it was.
Was it
just
Get
the fact
Out
that...
by chance?
No, it wasn't Get Out, because Get Out is another Jordan Peele film. It was an indie film that was made for like $20. Skinamarink.
Oh, I think I heard about that one. Hold on, let me look it
Yeah.
up.
It
Yeah.
basically had no jump scares whatsoever, and I liked it, but I had a big issue with it, where basically any of that suspense that they were building up, it never paid off, right? You were just constantly waiting for something to happen, but then there was never a payoff.
Oh, I have heard
Edging
of
the
it.
film.
Nope, in my opinion, takes all of that suspense, and when you think there's going to be a jump scare, there isn't. So it's actually more effective when there is one. And there isn't many in the film.
Yeah, I gotta admit, there was something like that when Ghost the horse runs off early on in the film, and you hear the Hupe, isn't that his name? Hupe, as he's practicing down there, and in the background in the clouds, you can just see the creature just go between the clouds.
Yeah, like
It's
ever
like-
so slightly.
Yeah, and I think the reason why the jump scares work is because, now I say this as someone who has watched The Conjuring, right? I had a friend of mine make me watch The Conjuring. I really like how every time there's a jump scare, my ears aren't assaulted by just a on a violin.
Yeah, the audio
Because-
stinger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I honestly, hot take here, I absolutely despise it when horror movies do that. Like, I hate it when the jump scare is always accompanied by some loud noise to unsettle you,
That's
because
what
it just,
that's what they do in Until Dawn as well, and I hated it every time. Like the noise is scarier than the actual like jump scare, I find, whenever they do
Five
that.
Nights
Yeah.
at Freddy's and its consequences.
no, Five Nights at Freddy's, yeah, fuck it, dude, I'm saying that Five Nights at Freddy's had better jump scares than most of the Conjuring movies.
Wrong.
I actually kind of like their jump
Wrong.
scares, but anyway.
Five Nights at Freddy's mentioned, opinion rejected.
But yeah, they actually did the suspense and the tension like really well. Like it builds so much tension over time, and then when it finally happens, you're like, holy shit. Shitting
there's
myself
Yeah.
over
actual
here.
payoff.
I mean, I think they got really good actors for it, and I think they played their roles very well. There was the straight man. I think there was the
Main character is
Oh,
just the
right,
straight man.
man.
He's just so sad.
You mean
No
Oh,
one
you
told
mean
me
OJ?
Keith David was in this fucking movie.
No one told me either. That was a surprise.
And when I saw him in like the first 5 seconds, I was like, holy shit,
It's the man from
why
the
is
other
he
side.
here? Why is he in everything?
He's
What
David.
do you-
I haven't heard that name.
the dad, like the I've got friends on the other side.
Oh yeah, I noticed that most of the people there had very, I don't know how to describe this without sounding really weird. They had really good voices. They traveled well. I didn't like some of the characters, but you could be pulled back in because they were just so vocally present.
Oh,
I
this
don't know what to
oh
call that.
Antlers, the cinematographer. His voice is just maple syrup on pancakes, bro. It is perfect.
Yeah.
Why did no one tell me that Husk from Hazbin Hotel was in this movie?
We're not mentioning that
Rare
here.
Husband Hotel reference.
I'm not
Guys, it's the
questioning
president from Rick and Morty. Look.
Okay, that's a better reference. Unironically, Rick and Morty's a better show than Has Been Hotel.
Okay, that's for a later
Guys,
episode.
it's the guy from the thing.
Yeah, he was in the
It's the
thing.
guy
I still
from
haven't seen the.
Coraline and Adventure
Wait,
Time.
Wait, hang on. Keith David is in Coraline.
Apparently. Anyway, this is also looking up the cast of the film. It's also making me realize that his name isn't Julian. His name is Jupe.
Yeah, no, his name's Jupe. Yeah,
I thought
because
his name was Julian the entire time. Every time I wrote about him in my notes, it's Julian.
Oh my god.
Why did I think his name was Julian?
look, I'm just saying, Angel, my beloved. He was my favorite character.
Angel is
Emerald,
the
my
best.
beloved.
I'm with Alex on
Yeah.
this, Angel.
Look,
I
I'ma say it.
am,
I'ma say it. He's the guy I'm giving a cookie to, and what I'm giving him is a peanut butter edible cookie. Okay, because that just seems like he. Okay, he's for one a stoner, so already I'm not a stoner, but I'm just saying in movies they're usually the most likable character or an abuser. There's no in between. But
Yeah.
like, I just loved how he when he shows up on the farm and he's like, "Yeah, sorry for being weird, guys." Yeah, sorry, just got out of a 4-year relationship. Yeah.
It's weird because in the jobs that I've had so many people do that to me. It's unbelievable, unfucking believable. Like, you have no idea how many stoners are just like, oh yeah, I'm sorry for being weird.
Yeah, I've actually
I don't
had
know
a
what
few
the
people
fuck
like
you
that
did.
as well.
I don't care.
I'm like, you.
I want a 9 to 5 here, man.
I'm literally like,
Bro is-
you were the most entertaining part about my shift. Please come in more often. Hi.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, it's my
saying.
favorite part of the shift too, when all the kids get really hot.
I'm just saying, bro. The
No,
guy
I-
who played him, the guy who played him, is fucking Puerto Rican Ryan Gosling. Okay, I'm saying it now. Like
Brandon
wait, his
Pereira?
main jam skating? What the fuck is that? Break dancing on roller skates? Yeah, Brandon Pereira. That's the actor for Angel. For not Angel Dust, Angel Torres. But
He's
that
in
guy,
dance camp.
he needs to be in more films. I love him. He was just so.
Huh? Wasn't he in Doom Patrol?
No, no. I know if he was in Doom Patrol. I am, I am, I am so.
Hang on, I'm
Ooh, I
looking
am.
this up.
No, he actually hasn't been in a lot of film. Oh my god, he was in Doom Patrol.
One episode. Who the fuck is Jonathan Time?
I don't know. It's
I don't
Doom
remember.
Patrol, bro. Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance has written parts of Doom Patrol.
Fuck off, really?
No, really,
What?
no. Gerard Way became a famous comic book writer and wrote things like Milk Wars, where Superman becomes the Milkman. But one of his most famous things he's written was his run on Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is basically, if you're queer, here's the comic book for you. It's filled with a bunch of weird people. Oh, he was the clock. Yeah, okay, no, that makes sense. This was the character he played. Hold on.
I feel like we're
How do
getting
I-
a little bit off topic here.
Okay, yes, I apologize.
Anyway.
We're reviewing the film in its utmost, but I thought that Angel was by far the best, the funniest
He was
character.
definitely
But
the
I,
most entertaining.
Yeah, but I really liked Kiki Palmer's and Daniel Kaluuya's performance in the brother and sister role. They had so
Mm,
much chemistry and so much like there was whenever they talked, you felt like there was so much beneath the lines that they just connected, and it was ah favorite part of the film. Also, the main character basically suicidal. He
oh my god, he's just like me for real.
No, don't say that.
No.
Nope, not
So,
happening on this
nope,
one.
nope.
nope,
No.
nope.
Oh, name drop.
Yeah,
So, what did we
title
think of Julian?
Oh, I have so much to
I
say.
loved him. Like
I loved him
genuinely,
so
I
much.
thought he
I
was
kept
such a
on saying
cool
this during
character.
our viewing, but I still don't know why anyone didn't bring like an RPG or an AK
That
or
monkey should have
any kind
fucking
of
killed him.
gun.
That monkey
Hold
should
on,
have
hold on,
killed him.
hold on.
Must.
Kyra and I have a very similar opinion. I'm like, wait, what do you, okay, so we have.
Midwest. Yeah.
Okay, so Chris, you reckon they should have brought an RPG. We'll get to that later. Cameron, what do you mean the monkey should have killed him?
The monkey should have killed him.
I mean, to be fair, he is kind of like the reason
I will
why
not
all this shit with
elaborate
the alien
further.
happened, is he not? Like, is he
Yeah,
not
that
like
is.
a cult leader basically, like
Well,
worshipping this alien dude?
okay, I'm gonna defend him. He's not a cult leader. He's just someone with a lot of deep-seated trauma. Like, I think it's
Monkey.
kind of convenient that we watch this film when like all of the Nickelodeon child actor stuff has been happening over the last few years,
That's true.
because he kind of reminds me of bad example, but he kind of reminds me a bit of Drake Bell and actors who sort of went through so much shit and then continued that cycle of abuse because he killed all of those horses that were sold to him. Like,
Yeah.
I realized that like an hour after viewing, as oh, I wonder if OJ got his horses back. Wait a minute.
That's what I'm saying. The
horses are
monkey should have
Lucky is
fucking
dead.
killed him.
Okay, yeah, that is a point in Cameron's camp.
So,
Exactly. Thank you very much.
I actually really liked the whole like little flashback subplot thing with the monkey going crazy, because it's based on a true story of a monkey who went on various, I think this is from like the 90s or the 2000s. There's like a monkey who was very famous in America. It was like on a lot of TV shows, and I think it was also a chimp, and I forget his name, but he like snapped and tore the face off of his owner.
Yeah, I
um
read about that
there's
after the film,
You
yeah.
can still actually find an audio recording of that 911 call, and
I don't think that was
I
a
don't know why
TV thing, though.
I don't
I don't
know.
think it was a TV thing.
No, he was on like TV and
Was
stuff,
he?
but it didn't happen like on TV. It happened like in their home, like not on TV, but you can hear the audio of the 911 call that went out. Cause yeah, it like he like snapped and killed his owner and like tore her completely apart. Um,
I think I remember watching like okay, I kind of spoiled myself a little bit for this movie like a while ago because I just kept watching clips of it when it was like really popular back in like when 2021, 2022, something like
22.
that. Yeah, 2022. I think the thing about it, it was theorized the monkey had like a code phrase like when the balloon popped during that scene, and directly after you hear the chimpanzee screaming, that the monkey was sort of trained in some way to have that be like a kill phrase or something, which is weird as fuck. But it's like kind of makes sense because there's a direct correlation between the balloon popping before that scene and then the chimpanzee just going fucking crazy.
Mm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't know. I thought it was really interesting to go back to all of the Gordy stuff, particularly considering how much it was foreshadowed at the beginning of the film. Um, I also thought it was really interesting that they based the original part of the film on the story of, oh God, there was a whole lecture on this and I'm forgetting it, Peter Moyes. But
Feature
basically
name dropped.
but basically, Yeah, it was the guy who made the original motion picture did it based
Mm.
off a bet. Like he was drinking with friends and he did the whole bet thing of they were like because they were like, "Oh yeah, I reckon." He said, "I reckon at one point all the horse's feet are off the ground." And the others were like, "Nah, get out of here." And so he went and invented this set of cameras that went along the racetrack that would capture the horse in motion in sequence. And it got like all the poses, you know, the up pose, the down pose, and then all legs off the ground. And then he became famous off that. But I did find it interesting. I mean, Jordan Peele's a lot of his work is about race and about tying that back together. How the movie sort of mirrors that. It mirrors the search for the impossible because they thought it was impossible that a horse's feet were all off the ground because how is it still standing? And when they're trying to capture footage of this alien,
The impossible
um,
shot.
yeah, it's the impossible shot, but it's also like by the end of the film all the media is there getting footage of it for themselves. So despite all their sacrifices, they've done the impossible and shown that there was just a random alien flying around. And so many people died for this. But it sort of reads as if they're not necessarily going to get all of the they're not necessarily going to get remembered for that. Or at least Antlers isn't going to get remembered for that, and neither is Angel.
It's sort of like
Despite their
how at the beginning of the movie they said that the guy who the jockey who rode that horse in the like the footage, no one remembers his name.
yeah. And I found that really, really interesting. Um, and I think with the Gordy thing, if I were to be like child of a vet brain, I think part of the reason why it snapped would have been just simply, despite us growing from primates, the conditions of which we act are so different from chimps. Like if you're on a film set every day with people smiling at you,
Mm.
that's not good if you're a chimp because we're the only primate in the entirety of the
Only
world
thing.
which bears their teeth as a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
thing.
monkeys take smiling and like seeing your teeth as like a sign of aggression. Also, chimps are they're incredibly smart. They're also horrifying. Like I would rather be trapped in a room with like a big cat, like a wild cat, than a chimp. Chimps
What
are
Hmm.
kind of wildcat we
terrifying.
talking?
Like
What
they
kind, what kind of wildcat we talking? Because I reckon I'd beat a cheetah in a fight.
I mean, I would rather be in the room with a
Cheetahs are fucking pussies. They run
I
from
would
you.
rather be in a room with a lion than a chimp. The lion isn't gonna do too much if it like it's probably just gonna lie down and fall asleep if I stay still.
I
Hmm.
mean,
Okay, but a
from what I
hungry lion.
understand of chimps, from what I
Hungry
understand of
lion,
chimps, they're
debatable.
so they're so unpredictable, which is why they shoot on sight pretty much if they escape their enclosures most of the time.
Yeah, any
Because
sort of wild animal.
their behavior, one minute they're chill, the next they're eating people's faces, and you can see it in zoos. And there is a thing called like, oh, what is it? It's like zoo. It's not Zootopia. It's zoochosis. So higher intellect animals suffer particularly from that, but chimps in the wild are already insane. So if you have a chimp with zoochosis, essentially you have something that is completely unpredictable. You cannot follow a thought process of cause and effect with that shit.
Mm.
It's just not possible.
I think it
Like,
also like you can tie that in with the alien. Like
Yeah.
it's I think the
yeah,
whole point of it
unpredictable.
is that like the monkey and the alien are sort of like the same. Like they're both like wild animals just acting on instinct.
Hmm.
I also really liked that with the alien, with the opening like credits that they did. It's like the inside of the alien, right?
Yeah, I found that
Mm.
really cool looking back on it, how
Yeah, because like
the
when they showed it, I
alien's
was like,
eyes
oh,
slash mouth,
I did
the alien
the I
eyes
did the
slash mouth was
DiCaprio
like.
meme of pointing at the screen.
It's the fucking soy jack image.
I mean, yeah, I thought the alien design was pretty good. I liked to say it was pretty good. I was frothing at the mouth. I thought it was really cool. Um, I definitely think that Shupei is very interesting as a character. I think he's the most interesting character in the film. Shut up, Cameron. I think that Shupei is the most interesting character in the film purely because the way at the start, the way he calls back to his trauma of being like referencing the SNL skit, and I think that was really funny, considering that the fact that SNL shit, but also the fact that like we as a culture would have seen something like this, and then there would have been an SNL skit about the
Yeah.
tragedy because it. And I can't go back to any specific
It's a
examples.
fascination with death and
Yeah, and like,
gore and tragedy.
hmm, yeah, and I think that it's interesting that I don't think Hubei is a cult leader, but I definitely think that he's someone who has been exploited by the world around him, particularly because of the fact that he was a child star and he was in this tragedy, and because of that, he sort of became something that people gawked at, and in his own way, I guess, just like the animals, he responded by attempting to appease those around him by glorifying his own trauma.
Mm.
It eventually leads to him getting fucking squished.
Also, because he had he sort of became like like the same sort of thing as like the adults who would have been around him at the time, because like he was getting his own kids involved in the show and stuff
Mm,
as well. So he's sort of like repeating that cycle with his own children.
mm.
I
I
think he was a
definitely
very
agree.
interesting character.
Yeah. I think the main character was kind of funny.
OJ?
Yeah, OJ. I thought OJ was kind of funny, and I did like Daniel Kaluuya's performance, but I gotta say, I kind of wish we understood his motivations just a little bit more, because the only reading I got was that he just wanted to fucking kill himself.
The read that I got was that he wanted revenge for his dad because he perceived the alien as like, oh yeah, this fucker definitely killed my dad.
Yeah, that's sort of
Fucking
what I
from
got
the
from it.
sky. Oh yeah, I also saw the fact that the alien dumped a fucking key on one of the horses when the horses
Yeah.
were trying to escape. I think that was Lucky, right?
Yeah, I think it was Lucky.
It was
No, that was
Lucky.
Ghost.
Was it
Lucky
Ghost?
was a
Oh
black
yeah,
horse. Yeah, that was
it was
Ghost.
Ghost. No, Lucky wasn't a black horse, it was like a brown horse.
Did Ghost die
You
or
know,
did
horse.
Ghost live?
No, Ghost lived, I think.
Ghost
I don't know.
lived.
Ghost sort of ran off into the dark and never came back.
I think
Yeah, it's dead.
Ghost is dead.
Schrodinger's ghost.
Rip.
I think Ghost in canon dies, but Lucky survives.
Yeah, because that's the
Um,
one that
it's the only
OJ was
horse with some
riding,
sense.
wasn't he?
Yeah, that was the horse OJ was riding, and he was mentioning how early in the film Lucky doesn't follow commands very well. I think Lucky just had some sense about him.
We
I
talk
know when we were watching it with our friend Karina, Karina was like, Lucky is the MVP character. Just plot armor the horse.
Can we talk about how good it was to watch that reporter get eaten? How satisfying it
Oh,
was? I was like, yes,
Especially when
my
it
justice.
bad.
enabled, it let Emerald do the fucking Akira slide. Oh my god.
Yes, oh my god.
Oh, fucking
I
Akira
love the
slide.
Akira slide. I'm so glad
Emerald, my
Akira's on the
beloved.
list. Emerald, my beloved.
Was that your favorite character,
She was my
Cameron?
favorite character.
Yeah? What'd you like about her?
Immediately. Just how energetic she was about everything.
Mm.
Because it it's a complete contrast to what OJ was trying to portray. It's just she
Yeah.
breaks every bit of suspense, but then somehow furthers it at the same time. Because you're
She
like,
did grow on me.
I liked her, yeah.
from the very
yeah.
beginning, I was like, peak.
What kind of cookie would you give her?
Or
Are we still on about the cookies?
Yes.
Yeah, we're
A
still on about the
cookie-
cookies.
A cookie with Adderall put inside of it to trick a child to take their medication.
Are you saying that this is what you do at your work?
No.
You sure?
Not on the books.
Yes.
Not on the books.
No, okay, no, legally I cannot say that.
Not while we're recording.
That is the but like in terms of like flavor of the cookie, probably Oh yeah, no, Ritalin cookie. Adderall slash
You know,
Ritalin cookie.
Okay, I'm gonna pick Jupe as my cookie man. Since Angel's already been done. I think I'm gonna give Jupe like a macadamia nut cookie.
Oh, okay.
Adventure style.
That is adventurous.
It feels I mean, I don't know, cause it's sort of like the classic like mum cookie. I don't know if your mum's like the white chocolate macadamia nut stuff, but my mum loves that stuff. And I don't know, he
Mm.
just sort of gives the same sort of vibe. It feels like he would eat it because his wife likes it.
Oh yeah, he is a wife guy.
He is a wife guy.
He is a wife guy. That is another interesting aspect of his character. I'm gonna give a controversial read because I know the basis of a lot of Jordan Peele's work. Part of the film did seem like it addressed like the sort of model minority kind of stuff. Um, are you guys familiar with that?
Nope.
No.
Not particularly.
Okay, so basically it's this, and if I fuck anything up, feel free to cancel me. But like, it is this sort of idea, particularly in like white America, that Asian people are like the model minority. It's completely false and it's kind of fucked up and fetishized, but it comes from the sense that like, oh yeah, they assimilate better into the culture and they're really hard go-getters unlike those other ones. And
Oh, I
I
know
felt
what
like
you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, and the movie felt like it kind of addressed that and like the faults in that in a certain way because considering that like a lot of the people on the set in the start of the film were like white people and that white lady's reaction of like wait your name's OJ um it felt like that and particularly how Droop is like encouraged by the world around him to keep trying to conform to these more like wider standards. How he was specifically pointed out in the script as like that Asian kid on Kid Sheriff, um,
Oh
and the fact that
yeah.
he actively attempts to everything he does isn't because he wants to, it's because he's looking to appease the world around him because he's got that deep insecurity within him. Um, but that ultimately leads to his downfall and his, getting sucked up into the creature and then getting, that's how I read at least part of the film, intentional or not. Because then you have,
You
then
have
you
like a
have,
contrast with OJ and
yeah, and how they're the only black-owned horse business in the entirety of Hollywood. But that was one of the readings I got on the film. It definitely wasn't the main part, but I definitely got a bit of that sentiment within there. I don't know. That's just it's a personal hot take I have.
I see it.
But I feel like we've glazed up the film a little bit, so let's get controversial with it. Kai, you mentioned there were aspects of the film that weren't your favorite.
Um, this is just purely because of my personal taste. I think some of the things in it were a bit too like weird or eccentric or like different to my personal taste. Um, I don't fully know how to explain it, but it just like some aspects of it were like t like a little bit too weird, uh wacky and wonderful. Like in some parts where things like I didn't really it's probably because it's still just parts I didn't really understand. Like I didn't really get like Dupe's motivation for basically feeding people to the alien, and also like the co-star from the show that he was on, like being in the audience that time. Like, just for an
Mm.
example, I don't know. I didn't really understand a lot of the movie. Um, like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to explain. But it's just like, um, I get too high hopes for movies that everyone says is great, and then I'm inevitably a little bit let down by some aspect or
That's
another.
fair.
But like overall, I really liked it still. I think it
Hey,
was
at
just a
least you
bit
still
too.
liked it. That means you can still be alive.
I think it was just a bit too confusing for my personal preference of film.
Cameron, I want to ask you this because you said it was a 9.5, maybe a 10. Where's that point 5 of contention?
Okay. Mainly, mainly it just comes from some of the visual effects.
Okay.
Mm.
That there are some scenes like it's frustrating to me because there are some scenes where you can tell that they've done an amazing job, but there are other scenes I like mainly this is massive spoilers, so if you haven't watched the movie by now,
I mean, we've already spoiled a bit of it.
I know, but like
L skill issue.
yeah, so mainly when the what is it, the jean jacket?
Mm.
Is it
Oh
jean
yeah.
jacket? The
Yeah.
main one? Yeah, when Jean Jacket dies, it looked really off for me. And that was like, I was so frustrated with it because every other bit of visual effects was fucking amazing the entire film. Like, especially the blood rain scene.
Oh fuck, that
Oh
was such a good
my
scene.
god,
God,
it looked
I
good.
was, I was like,
Nutting.
nutting is the best way to describe it. I was like, holy shit, this is like a perfect blend of practical and visual effects. It's, and I think that's why, in addition, it's become it's such a highly rated film for me because it doesn't take the common Hollywood approach of just entirely VFX now,
Mm.
which is a
Mm.
massive issue that I have with modern filmmaking.
Oh yeah, Michael Bay did
Um,
it.
Yeah, and we all know how the Transformers movies look.
Okay, in defense of Michael
No,
Bay, no,
No,
no.
no, we're not.
no.
No. Okay,
What
okay.
have I started?
Before I get on to, before I ask Chris what his contention with the film, and then I froth over the sound design.
Oh
Um,
god, off.
I wanted to say, in defense of Michael Bay, he may have started some of the trend, but at least in the first three Transformers films, the reason why the visual effects look so good, and I think is a reason why this works so good, is because anything they could have done practically, they did. He notes on the set of like the explosions are practical. He had whole teams full of stuntmen that would achieve these shots, and
Blowing
then
up
they had
Chicago.
blowing up the pyramids.
Please don't
Um,
hurt my pyramids.
Please don't hurt my pyramids. And at least he attempted, but I do agree that this film does do a really good job at like making sure it's not all just because it could have been. Like realistically, it could have just been visual effects, but the fact that they go the extra mile and they keep the visual effects to the down low and they actually film on location, it's like, oh,
That's the
magnifique.
good stuff.
The only other thing that I will say is this film was too dark. And I'm not talking tone wise, I'm talking like
Color
actually
grading.
color grading wise.
I agree.
It was too, you could not read, especially during the ghost chapter. Like
Mm.
it was just way too dark
Yeah, I
that
agree.
I ended up rewatching the film after we all left last night. Um in a pitch black room because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to actually see anything. Like I cranked my monitor's brightness up to absolute full and rewatched that scene so that I could actually see if there was anything in the background. There wasn't, but with how this movie is, it's you'd expect something to be back there.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
if you sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, because like I watched it during the day and I had to close. Like I watched it during the day on like my TV. I had to close all of my curtains with the blackout curtains, and I had to switch off the light in the room, because there was just so much glare and it was so dark. Um,
Mm.
it's it sort of reminded me of watching modern anime where they have to darken parts of the screen for epilepsy. Um, it sort
Pokemon
of
moment.
reminded me of that.
JJK moment.
I fundamentally disagree with this.
Okay,
Okay, go
Really?
on.
Okay.
go on.
The darkness, I think, provides like a guiding focus. Because the dark bits aren't where you're meant to be looking. You're meant to be looking
No,
in front of you.
no. The part that I'm saying is that in the extremely dark part, you couldn't see anything.
Mm.
The stuff that you were supposed to be focusing on was also incredibly hard to view.
Especially
did not
because you're
find that.
expecting something to be in like not in the main point of focus of the camera. You're expecting something to be like far off in the background. Like that first scene where you first see like the UFO where OJ
We've
first sees it. I didn't see it because it was so dark I couldn't see it.
like yeah, this movie had already established that there would be lots of different things in the background, especially even with Keith David's death immediately,
That
right?
was really well done, but yeah.
Yeah, oh my god. Like
I was like,
until
oh,
you saw him slump over slightly in the background, you didn't know that he had died yet.
I mean, I was watching. I'm
did.
like, he's definitely gonna die.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, of course
He wasn't
but
he
you know,
wasn't on the
it's
cover. He's gonna die.
He was dead like the second I saw him. Like, come on.
I'm like,
and then
just
later in the
they
film that
couldn't
same
afford
thing
him for
comes
the
up.
whole movie.
Yeah.
The same thing comes up later in the film where there's constantly stuff in the background, like especially in the scene that the what are the littler aliens called?
The
The
children,
Oh
small
no,
the
those
littler, sorry, the smaller ones.
the
no,
children.
they weren't aliens. They were children.
They were children.
They were
Which ones?
children.
They were they were they were
They were Jupe's kids pretending to be aliens, like in the
Oh,
stable.
because they
yeah.
stole his horse. Remember, they
Yeah.
stole
Yeah,
his
because they
fake
yeah, because they
horse.
were
It was,
yeah.
and that scene, I was like shitting myself. I had my hand like over my mouth, like I was shitting myself at that
That was
fucking
the
scene.
scene where I said no. I gave
Yeah, that was the
Oh,
first
no,
time
no,
Chris and I
name
both
drop,
said
name
no
that's the
drop.
because we
first time
watched
that I
we
name
watched.
dropped.
nope.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
shit on that.
I'm gonna agree with Chris a bit here because on the whole darkness thing, because I was viewing it was on my computer, because again, totally legally, but we were viewing it on my computer, and I had a bit of glare on my computer, but I felt like sometimes the darkness and the fact that I couldn't see much in, like, particularly with the little kid scene, meant that when I could slowly make out a figure standing within the stables, I was like, ha, ha, ha. And then
I
when,
just think, okay, I could see most of the shit that I needed to see perfectly. I was not looking in the dark areas. Areas that I could see were lined so that I could see what was happening. I could see the aliens very, very clearly. That was the focus and reason the scene was there. That was why there was tension within the scene. I wasn't looking in the dark where there's not meant to be things, but there might be things. So I think that fundamentally there's a dissonance between the intention of the author and the viewership um, precedent that you're stating.
I think I
So
generally have a problem with movies being too dark because it's definitely become a trend in modern cinema to have really,
oh
really
yeah,
dark scenes, because I think they're forgetting that like when it's fine and dandy when you're watching it in a cinema or the lights are off, it's on a giant fucking screen that's like 10 times the size of a like TV, 100 times. Like, but when I think they're forgetting that most people will either be watching this on streaming on your, or illegally on your computer. Um,
No, it's totally legal. It's totally legal.
I do think that this movie was designed to be watched on cinemas, but not like in a Zack Schneider kind of way, in like a good kind of way. Like it was actively made for it and not like, oh, I'm pompous and a prick.
Yeah,
Um,
I felt that with the sound design because
Wait,
a
wait,
lot
wait,
of the
before we get
sound.
into sound design, um, Chris hasn't spoken
yeah,
about
Chris.
what he didn't like. Chris, you were telling
That's a
me
good point.
about something, and I've completely forgotten now, but you were telling me about something before we started recording.
Okay, there are some very stupid decisions the characters make. Like in all fucking scary movies and shit, you have to have some suspension of disbelief. This one made me suspend my suspension of disbelief, despite the fact that I'm a fucking cynic all the goddamn time. But I think it's stupid to have this set in America, and it's in hog country. Like, being real, most everyone has guns.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
why did we not see
We're
a
bringing back
gun,
the
a
RPG.
single one? Like, did we even see a pistol out there? Because I don't remember seeing a pistol.
I don't think we saw
I
a single gun.
it was in California. To be fair, gun ownership in California
Well,
is so
no,
big.
hang on. Gordy was
California.
shot in the back of the head.
Well, yeah, but we didn't see the
Okay.
Oh
gun.
yeah,
Oh, true.
that was like cops.
Anyway, that is a small gripe I have with it. The other reason I give it an 8.5 is that as much as it is a genuinely good film, I do not, in my taste, like scary movies to begin with. Two, this is the first movie we're reviewing, and if I put it at a 9, 10, I'm gonna look back at this and I'm be like, I really didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
Fair enough. You were telling
Yeah.
me about
Three,
the camera guy who like wandered off the mountain for no reason.
yes, to get the perfect shot, to get the perfect shot, the golden shot. I have to go up the hill and I have to kill myself, and then watch as the camera hurtles down the hill, and all the footage is fucking unusable.
Yeah, I kind of
Really
hated
good
that scene
logic
too.
there, bro. Like that makes sense. Oh, now I'm not a director. I don't have the boner for it, but that does not sound like a logical human being to me.
I don't think
mean-
Antlers was a very logical person
mean,
being
like,
real.
I
He,
think
he
it's sort
sounded
of like
like
a
a
thing-
tortured artist.
It's sort of a thing where like you don't know the genre of movie that you're in, sort of thing. Like I think it's all well and good to make fun of people in horror movies for like, going up the stairs instead of just leaving the house, or like splitting off from the group and going off by yourself. But at the same time, you don't know what genre of movie you're in. But at the same time, I do
Okay.
agree that him just wandering up the mountain was fucking stupid and I hated it.
All right, so like think of it this way. You know this thing kills people, eats horses, you just saw it create a fucking tornado, and it moves really goddamn quickly, and it eats people, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there and do that, and get killed, and oh, the perfect shot. This
I'm
makes
gonna do it.
sense.
I'm gonna do a I'm gonna do a defense of Antlers here.
Alright.
I don't know what Cameron's opinion is on it, but I may be 1v3ing here.
This
But to me, it kind of made sense for him because since he was in the initial commercial, he's always framed as like this legendary cinematographer, and I've met some cinematographers and they are very grumpy people. But he works on commercials and he feels pained when he initially thinks that they're gonna make him do a reality TV show. Don't know why. Beverly Hills Housewives is peak, but whatever. Um, and I think the reasoning why he's up there is sort of because he just wants to. Like I said this about OJ jokingly, but I mean this when it comes to Antlers. He just hates his life and kind of wants to die, but he gets this rush when it comes to documenting, because we see that early in the film he likes to document animals and when they're going in for the kill, right? um But for him, I don't think it was an entirely logical decision. But at the same time, sorry, birds are screaming at me. But sometimes I don't necessarily think it needs to be one because for him, this was his peak, right? Like clearly he had a peak before, but this is his first time peak ever, and so like he knows there's nothing better than this. And in an attempt to chase that glory, he leaves the camera with Angel to pick it up where he left off, and he's like, that's it, I've done it, I've peaked now, I'm gonna die."
Yeah, but then the
And
footage gets destroyed.
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, but he didn't know
Didn't he
that.
have two cameras actually?
I feel
Because
like logic would
Yeah, no,
dictate.
he has two.
He had two cameras. He took his own camera up there to do the footage, but left the rest of the footage down there with
With Angel.
yeah,
We
and then
never find
Angel.
out what happened to him.
Who, Holst?
died.
To Angel.
Angel. Yeah,
Oh.
no, Angel just is like. I think Angel. Well, I think
We
that's part
never
of the movie.
actually see him get eaten.
Yeah, no, but he doesn't get eaten. He rolls down the hill and then he uses the barbed wire to keep himself from
Getting eaten.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we never see him die or live. We didn't
No, we
find
do.
out.
At the end
No,
of the
he
film,
lives.
Did we?
at the end of the film, yeah, we did. At the end of the film, he's looking over at the. He looks over at the creature, I think, while it's floating in the air, um, and just sort of sits there. It was a great shot.
I
I
do
didn't
not
entirely
recall.
love.
I do
I didn't
not recall
entirely
that at
love
all.
the. I didn't entirely love the color grading, but sometimes when it was like those evening shots and the sun is hanging ready to go down, that was when they cooked.
Alright,
Wasn't
guys, here's my
entirely.
opinion on the color grading.
Huh?
Huh?
I can't talk.
You can't talk?
This movie was
Oh yeah, because you're
a,
colorblind.
a blank for me in terms of the color grading because
colorblind. Ha 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 ha.
hey, shut up.
Wow.
Disabled.
Damn.
So wait, as the token colorblind person,
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
as the token colorblind person, how was it for you?
Watchable. The none of the coloring was different from from how I see films regularly. So
I didn't really
it was
see
fun.
all that much like uniqueness with the color grading personally. I mean, it was all just very warm toned.
I don't think it
And
needed to be unique.
yeah, I think the genre of what they would like thriller, alien, um they didn't really need to do anything special with the color grading on its own because how they shot it and what shots they got like already like are like it's enough. Like you don't need to do anything extra with the color grading, unlike with like other movies where the color grading is like the main part, which like controversial opinion, I kind of hated Paris, Texas, except for the color grading, and that would get me cancelled if I said that out aloud in my film classes. But anyway,
Aren't there people in your film classes gonna be watching this?
and
Sucks to suck.
sucks to suck. Fuck you
L, I
guys,
guess?
I'm right.
I'm gonna be real.
Whoa,
As a local
okay.
dumbass who doesn't know what color grading is, it looked good enough for me. The story was captivating. The visuals were captivating. It's a good watch. I have not many complaints. As far as being, like a masterpiece in scary movies for me, with a little bit of levity and a lot of character, I think it hits all marks as a masterpiece. I don't see any issues as far as how it looks visually.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, okay, we've waited enough. I'm frothing. The sound design in this film was perfect.
Oh my god, the
I'm
fucking
gonna.
alien sounds.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
God.
Okay, one thing on the color grading, I did think that the dullness of it weakened the big green eye. I feel like that should have been much greener, but that's just me. Um, I adored the attention to detail with the sound design. I don't just say this as someone who had to do a sound design class in January and now knows too much, but like, oh, the attention to detail with, because they could have just, with a lot of the scenes, they could have just gotten like a stock crowd, right? Like a lot of films, they don't really try, but with some of the bits of the motorbike and everything around them and the breaking of the fence. I'm not an exact sound design expert. I'd have to get one of my teachers in on this, but the it had small little details. I remember watching and being captivated by the smallest sounds they added to make, like they didn't have to add, but it made it that little bit better. The Akira slide was awesome too, but I definitely felt it when they were in Junpei's little theme park.
Mm.
And all the little sounds around them, the clicks, and then the inevitable of the camera well thing. That was good. I also liked how that actually paid off later in the film. Um, hey, we should watch Bullet Train.
The sound
Um,
Oh my
designer,
god.
the main sound designer, Johnny Byrne. I'm looking it up now. He actually won the Academy Award for Best Sound for 2024 with The Zone of Interest. So he didn't win it with Note, but he has won an
yeah,
Academy Award now.
mm, yeah, and that was something that I noticed in the film, particularly with the creatures sounds. Like they could have just gone for like some really scary or whatever, but the fact that the concept artist made it this jellyfish-like creature, this thing made of sails. Um,
Oh, it's by the way, there was an interview with Jordan Peele about the monster design and
mhm.
Evangelion reference, baby. Let's go.
God damn
Evangelion on top for another 10 years,
God
100
damn
years. Let's go,
it.
baby.
To let
Damn.
you all know, eventually on this podcast, we will be watching the end of
And
Evangelion,
Cameron is
and
the
let it be.
only one who has watched anything related to Evangelion before, and it will
Yeah,
stay that way.
baby.
It will
It is
stay
gonna
that
stay
way.
that way. But when in preparation, we are not watching any of the Evangelion content because in
It's
the in
funny.
the it is simply funnier. What is Leandre like? Whoever I love Leandre Lagrange. I think that's who she is because she worked on Guardians of the Galaxy in the first MonsterVerse Godzilla
Who
film
are we
in
talking about
Creature.
now?
Wait, really?
Yeah, she was the one who designed. Who
Oh
it appears to be the one who
shit.
designed the monster. Like
Oh.
she
Oh,
Well,
that's
that
she
makes
was a
sense
so
concept
now.
artist.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, no. The monster was peak. I love the fact that it looked like the Roswell spaceship, but then it unfolded and it was
Well, I think let's just quickly hop back to the sound design and glaze it a little more. Um, there was one scene really impressed me with it, and it was when OJ was riding on the horse and like dragging it with him,
oh
dragging
yeah.
the alien with him. The fact that all the audio was still like nothing was competing for each other on that.
Mm.
Everything was clear. Amazing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that
the
is a very, very intense scene.
Yeah, the fact that I noticed this when they did this, the fact that they didn't just use a stock horse sound the entire time, but the fact that they actually changed up the sound of the horse's hoofs when you got slightly closer, like it was a bit more of a muffled desert thing, muffled like hoofs against dirt thing where you just hear like the but as the camera got closer and then further away, it actually got more into the clop. The Foley artists
Foley
changed what they used
mentioned.
there. Foley mentioned the Foley artists
Yeah.
actually changed what they used there from like hitting a sandbag to fucking coconuts. Um, that was so like I took
Wait,
note
wait.
of that.
Coconuts like in Monty Python?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that is because
Yeah, that's how they
unironically
do
they
it.
used coconuts.
I remember I did a bit of Foley design back in high school actually, and we had to do a dog walking. Like the padding of the feet on a wooden floor. And what we did was we got a big metal sheet. We got a bunch of coconuts and two people behind the sheet to muffle it, essentially, to make it reverb away from the microphone, and clopped it according to all the heels of the heels of the dog hitting the floor. But then we also had a bell very close to the microphone, slightly jingling to mimic the collar as well. And God, that was weird. Foley is weird and I love it.
I destroyed a melon to get like a squelching sound with a big iron stick. And
Do we know what the Foley design did for the noise of people getting digested?
Ugh.
Oh, that was definitely a
peak.
balloon. That was a balloon. Like, Chris can vouch for me on this one. I said that's a balloon they're rubbing.
Yeah, probably a
Oh,
balloon.
God, that was like just
They were rubbing balloons together and they were like, help, help!
the fact that you could like hear their lungs getting less air in them. The more that they screamed was, oh
The
God.
fact that in the air
That
you could
whole
hear the loose
scene, I was
screams.
just,
Oh, that was so peak. I loved it. It was so unsettling. And when the creature's going over the top of the house and you can hear the rain stop slowly as it gets over the house.
oh.
And then blood rain.
And then blood rain as it shits.
Oh God, blood rain peak.
No,
Peak.
I'm calling it now. It was it shitting or vomiting.
It
Because-
shit on the house, and that's just so funny. It's like, yeah, I know you're in there. I know you're in
Well,
there, you fuckers. Come out.
Jordan Peele did say that that was how it marked its territory. So if you think about it, there
So
could
it
just be
wasn't
spots in the
shitting,
mountain.
So it wasn't
No.
shitting,
That means
it was
it was
coming
like
on it.
no, it was like peeing, right? It was peeing on the house.
Well, I also think it was regurgitating like the stuff that was stuck in its stomach.
Yeah, like how snakes and stuff can't digest certain things in animals. It's like it can't digest the metal, so it's throwing it all up.
Oh my god! The art director on Nope was also the art director on Dungeons and Dragons and Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Oh, that's why it's so
That's
peak.
why it's so peak.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, I will definitely be watching the rest of Jordan Peele's stuff because
Can you believe that Nope didn't get nominated for a single Oscar?
it was too.
It's
It would have
so
been too weird.
Jova.
It would have been.
It's-
It would have been too weird.
It wasn't even nominated. No.
It's won a
but
bunch of
Get
awards, though.
Out, but Get Out was, I'm certain.
It's gotten 43 awards.
That's true.
Holy. Really? Was there not an Oscar on any
No,
of this?
I'm reading a thing. Oscar voters may not have appreciated the film's many nods to classic anime like Akira and Evangelion.
Oh, that's why.
But future generations certainly will.
Well,
Less
the
than a
Oscars
year
is
since
incredibly
Nope to
racist, so yeah.
Yeah, it literally says that less than a year since Nope to release, another Black American filmmaker has released a new blockbuster full of cinema and similar anime references that also didn't get nominated.
Yeah, I think that the fact that Logan Paul tweeted saying, "Oh, this movie's really confusing and stretched out with confusing themes," is like, I don't know.
That is how
I
the
could-
Academy feels about anything that isn't like basic plot.
Anything that isn't a Scorsese movie.
Like I can think that a movie is too weird for my personal taste, but I can also say it's still a really good movie.
Yeah.
I think
The fact that this
I think you don't have to understand everything in a film to enjoy a film. Like, I can't think of an example right now, but there's been several films that I've like, I didn't quite get this, or I didn't quite get this, but I still really enjoyed it.
I think for me, that sort of film was Fantastic Planet when I first watched it, which is a movie that's on this
It is on the
my
list.
list. And that is a fucking weird movie. Oh my God. It's by the French.
Ew.
Made in the 1950s.
Hey man, I've got a 1950s movie on there as well, okay? I've got a 1950s Japanese black and white film. That is peak.
Oh no, sorry. I'm thinking of a different
The
film
writing is just
for
big, by the
year
way.
release. No, Fantastic Planet was 1973. Um,
You've
it's
lied to
Ah,
talking
me.
my movie's
about
older than yours.
You've
Fuck
lied to
you.
me.
okay. It's to and it got delayed. It was going to be released in
What's
the
the
1960s, but because of the Russians invading Czechoslovakia, it caused a delay
Oh my
because
god.
a bunch of them had to get shipped off to go help.
To help with the
It was
war.
really
So,
Oh my god.
yeah.
That's so funny. I mean, it sucks, but it's also
A
really
bunch of the
funny.
production team were in the French Reserve,
I will be
and so they
completely
got shipped
honest. I
off.
think the oldest movie that was on my list, I'm looking at it, I think the oldest movie on my list is Interview with a Vampire,
I can't
which is
wait to
only from
watch
the
End of
90s.
Evangelion, then probably The Princess Diaries. That's gonna be sick.
So to end,
So,
just to sum up, like to end talking about no, we didn't get Chris's cookie character.
Oh my god.
yeah,
No.
Chris, you've been
We didn't get
silent for
yours
a bit.
either.
No, Kaya picked one. Kaya picked Junpei and picked
Junpei's a
macadamia.
white chocolate
Oh,
macadamia nut cookie.
sorry, I didn't hear you say that.
What the fuck?
Anyways.
Chris, you haven't talked for a bit. What character in the movie would you give a cookie to? And you can be descriptive with the cookie as you want.
Has anyone picked OJ?
No.
No, surprisingly not.
I'll give it to OJ, and I'll go a classic Chuck Chip.
He gives shock chip vibes.
He does. He is just a very simple guy
He's just a little
who.
guy.
Yeah, and just
Don't call
final
him just a
thoughts on
little guy.
Wait,
no.
no. Angel is a little guy.
Angel is a goober.
Angel is peak.
Like, he is Puerto Rican Ryan Gosling. I'm saying it now.
What
But
the fuck?
he
Angel's
is.
peak.
Did you not see him in his car bumping it to fucking sad music and being like, I miss you.
I miss my girlfriend.
Yes, but what does that have to do with Ryan
He
Gosling?
just gave me Ryan Gosling
He's
vibes.
just
Look at this man and
Ken.
tell me he isn't Ryan Gosling.
He's just Ken.
Oh, yes, just from.
Is he enough?
I honestly think Angel is Kenoff.
Oh, yeah, he's enough.
So, closing thoughts of the film. I thought it was a pretty good movie to start with,
I thought
and
it was a really good movie, yeah, to start with.
because we mostly agreed on this one. Hopefully, the next film we watch,
Is weird and wacky
Well,
and wonderful.
we can
This
all
wasn't
argue.
weird and wacky and wonderful.
Uh,
This is the movie
Hopefully the
fucking
next
Nope. What do
movie
you
is
want?
like not a cinematic masterpiece, and is like
Wasn't
something like
there
just
a-
bad.
Didn't we already do the roll for that? I thought that was Evil Dead.
No, we
Oh
didn't.
no, we
we
haven't
re-rolled,
actually.
we
In
re-rolled.
fact,
Oh,
actually,
which brings us to.
Cameron,
our
you
next
ready?
film we were reviewing is.
Spin the wheel. I'm a little scared.
Oh,
oh.
Sharknado 5! No!
That's one of my movies. That's my movie. It's one of my movies. Okay,
Kubo and the
so
Two
our next
Strings.
movie
Yet
is
again.
Kubo and the Two Strings, and I could not be happier. I fucking love that this movie is peak.
I have heard very mixed things on it, but I'm very eager to actually watch it. I've
Alex,
heard the
you're gonna
animation
love
is
it.
Okay,
amazing.
can I
Stop
reroll?
motion.
Can we reroll?
No,
No, fuck off.
The
We're not.
Sharknado 5.
no.
Yeah,
fuck
okay, Sharknado 5 is for another time.
Cameron,
We're so
we
close
almost
yet
got
again.
Sharknado 5 last time.
I know.
It's edging us. We're edging Sharknado 5. Keep in mind, listeners, we don't have any of the other Sharknado movies there. We just picked a random Sharknado film,
okay.
and
The
we're
reason I put number 5 on the list is because I have seen the first 4 and I haven't seen the 5th one.
Same with me.
That's-
none of us have seen Sharknado 5. Okay, and with that, our closing thoughts on Nope, I'd say it's a solid. Yeah, I'm gonna set on a solid 8 out of 10. I'm with Chris here. I don't want to set it too high unless
I
set a-
agree 8.
Yeah, 8. Solid 8.
My opinion
This-
has not been swayed. This shit was like peak to me. 9.5.
Chris, your final rating? Keep in mind, you'll have to think back on this one.
8.1.
Just Just to be unique, you little shit.
You little shit.
You little piece
fuck-
of shit.
Yes,
I don't like you, Chris. Just to let you know.
I understand that entirely. I will proceed to ignore it.
Thank you for listening, and join us next week when we review Kubo and the Two Strings.